a guide for Sunder early on, and step-by-step guide getting Earthshatter hitting most effectively. A guide for every part of the transition from skill to skill. That's what this video is about. If you're new to Earthshatter, you're in the right place. This guide takes a look at Earthshatter on SLAYER. In Act 1, start off on splitting steel with a two-hander. If your RNG is down bad on League Start or the Brutus area is scuffed, try dragging Brutus to this larger area for more forgiving space to work with. Grab Sunder right away at level 12 from Nessa. Use it with chance to bleed and life tap right away with vitality. Offhand level Earthshatter. Get and use Intimidating Cry. A Tear or Purity or Wood Split are great items to start leveling. Go back for Molten Strike and Lightning Strike and level them offhand. They'll be useful around level 97. Try to get Molten of the Zenith in lab. Use Decoy Totem on League Start or in Gauntlet helps make life easier. In Act 2, you start getting bleed nodes, life, and making your way to Resolute Technique. You want to get Flesh and Stone here, and melee physical damage, your last link for Earthshatter. Get and start using Seismic Cry. In Act 3, you get Resolute Technique, drop Precision and drop Vitality for Purity of Elements. From here, run Purity, Flesh and Stone, and Blood and Sand. Lab progression in Path of Building, get Bane of Legends first. Damage to Unique and Rare is a strong starting focus. Get Rallying Cry as a reward. Sunder, Life Tap, Volatility and Chance to Bleed is a great starting point. Pick up Vulnerability. In Act 4, take Damage and Life. It's a good act to upgrade your chest and jewelers. Look for Amethyst Rings in the Act 4 vendors, and buy everyone you can and keep for rolling later. Take Multi-Strike for the reward and level it offhand. When you can, grab Brutality and start using instead of Chance to Bleed. Level Return Projectile offhand. Set up Cast when damage taken to Molten Shell and Vulnerability when you can socket them. Get and level offhand your 5th link. Overexertion. In Act 5, keep taking damage and life. Be on the lookout for Blood Sap Tinks, which can help greatly with Sunder later on. In Act 6, you'll be glad you had Purity. If the life cost was weight, Leech and Regan becomes refreshing by here. Run through the remaining acts with this setup. Link your war cries with life tap and optionally urgent orders when you can. As you go through the acts, sometimes you might need to get an axe from the vendor. Up until Act 8, selling them back to the vendor with a whetstone and magic rustic stash will give a physical increased axe back. Craft or augment slam from here. Later I find it's better to just alchemy or essence them. In Act 10, you can swap to Earthshatter for all of Lab, some of the mid-bosses, and Kitava, but keep sundering on the runs between things. Whew, a lot of quick value packed in that. Thanks for the like if you hit it by now. Finally, maps. Follow the progression to yellows in the POB unspecking bleed for life and suppression as you go. By the time you hit red maps at 95, you'll be mostly off bleed and invested into hit. However, the build retains a 20% chance to aggravate bleed on 40% chance to bleed. Magebane and the Mastery is the most point efficient suppression cap, but use over-capped resistance and lucky until you can make a full respec into it at level 95. All in the POB for you. Time for a shot at an end game axe. Here is the recipe I find works the most often. 2 prefix and a suffix. Any mod can be solo. A second suffix isn't a detriment either. Man, I hope they keep this thing in the game. What do you think? Should it stay? Here we go. I just keep winning. You can stay in Blood Stance mostly, but Stand Stance will help more difficult maps. Once you reach level 96 or 97, you'll have the ability to do something with Molten Strike of Zenith, or Lightning Strike. Farm the triple sword with the same recombinating method. Make a 3-mod sword like my previous 3-mod video, but then gamble it again with a higher 3rd elemental prefix. On a successful 4-mod, which is triple elemental and speed, now depending on budget, craft double damage or lock prefix. Unveil hope for speed, and unveil double damage. Change the tree to new Pog. You can swap just the attack gem between Zenith and Lightning, depending if you are bossing or mapping. Those POBs are also listed below. Stay tuned for more builds and guides coming up.